So Islam Makachev tweeted out saying that he wants Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje for the UFC lightweight interim title while he moves up to welterweight, and seeing who the next contender will be to fight Islam when he comes back down. Now, my initial reaction to this is, no, this shouldn't happen. Islam should fight one of these two. A lot of people are saying that he should fight Charles. A lot of other people are saying he should fight Justin. I know MMA Guru was saying that he wants Justin to fight for the title because he has on a 2-fight win streak and he hasn't fought Islam, so it would actually give Islam some variety in his legacy with that, because right now it's only been Charles and it's been Volkanovski twice, so Islam has 2 title defenses against a lightweight or a featherweight, which impressive wins, but you get my point with that. He gets a win over Justin Gaethje, that builds as well. He gets another win against Charles. It's like, okay, you beat him really bad in the first one. Some people will argue that, Charles will do better in this and he might even win, or Islam will beat him again the same way. But now that I think about it, I kind of like this fight because if Charles wins, he's now on a 2-fight win streak, and there is some space in between his fight with Islam Makachev. If Justin wins, he avenges his loss of Charles Oliveira, who was the last person to beat him, and it would basically avenge one of his more embarrassing losses. It was a very good first-round fight, but he got finished in the first round after calling Charles a quitter. But I think the thing that a lot of people were skipping over is he says he's moving up to 170. Now, fighters talk about moving up weight classes all the time. It happens all the time. Freaking Kamaru Usman was talking about skipping the middleweight division and going up to fight Jan Blachowicz, if anybody remembers that. Now, do I think he's going to go up and fight Leon Edwards or Winner or Colby Covington? I think Leon Edwards wins that fight, but you never know. If it's Colby Covington wins, I think yes, because he's managed by Ali Abdelaziz, and we know how they all feel about Colby Covington. So to knock out Colby Covington from being champion would be pretty good to do, and Islam would be pretty game of it. He can make that weight class. He's a giant guy, so it'd probably be easier on him. But you gotta always take these with a grain of salt, because the fighters constantly talk about that. Charles was talking about moving up to either welterweight or going down to featherweight before his fight with Islam, but he was saying if he beats Islam, he would move down there, which I know he didn't beat Islam, but still, that's some big talk. Trying to think who else has talked about. John Jones for the longest time was talking about moving up to heavyweight. I know he did move up to heavyweight, but that was 3 years wait, and he even had that all before when he was on his first title reign for that. So I think there is a chance, and I think he might actually do it because he's not a young guy, he's in his 30s, but, he's trying to build a legacy for it, and, he seems game for it, and I think Leon Edwards would take the challenge of that. You add Islam Makachev to your resume, that's a good win, but now who do I think would win in a fight between Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje? Well, that one's actually kind of hard now. I know if this fight gets made, everyone's going to go, Charles Oliveira's going to win this, and I most likely would pick Charles Oliveira just because of Justin Gaethje is a good wrestler, but in a lot of his losses, two of his losses, he has been submitted. Once against Habib and once against Charles. And the other 2, he's been KO'd or TKO'd. And yes, I know he just avenged his loss to Dustin Poirier, but, he's taken a lot of damage in that, but he's also improved a lot. He beat Rafael Fiziev. Now, I personally didn't agree with that decision. I thought it was close. I thought Fiziev won 2-1, but it was a very close round, and that third round, changed. He changed his entire game plan in the third round and dominated it, and it was a really good round. And then he head kick KO's Dustin Poirier, who Dustin hadn't been KO'd in quite some time. I think his last KO loss was Michael Johnson, and betting underdog, Michael Johnson's always undefeated, just so that's, you can't fault him for that. But just to basically change his style and basically be on this comeback he's going on, I think is really impressive. The BMF title doesn't really mean anything to his legacy, but just in general, I think he's improved a lot since his Charles loss. But we just haven't seen him in a grappling situation, how does he handle that? Like, he's grappling more. He's going for takedowns. He went for takedowns for the first time in his entire career against Rafael Fiziev, but he's not going to do that against Charles. Charles is a submission expert. That's an understatement. Everyone knows that. Most submission wins, most finishes, I believe. And we saw, I know he knocked down Charles Oliveira, but that's kind of a death sentence for most lightweights except Islam. But you do that, you can't fall him to the ground, or else you're going to get submitted, or you're going to get held there so he can recover. So I still think Charles would win this fight, but I think it would be a lot more competitive. But anyways, who do you think would win? And do you think this would actually all happen?